Hey, what's up? It's Adam Smith from the CommanderSmiths, and it is Proxy Time. This week, working on Deflecting Swat. And actually, there's a reason why I want to use this card, because it is going into current deck, my Magda deck. But there's a little special twist to this one. Because of the Lord of the Rings announcement this week, I decided to mix in this card as a proxy. So stay tuned to see how I turn this Deflecting Swat into a sweet Lord of the Rings proxy. Hey, what's up, guys? So working on Deflecting Swat today. So here's a couple things with this. Going into this, I tried to find the actual art for this one, but the problem is the quality was pretty crappy. So I almost was going to skip it, and I was going to jump onto something else. But then what I decided to do was actually go with a different, because of the Lord of the Rings stuff that happened this week, this last week, announcing that they're going to expand the universe into Lord of the Rings, decided to use this as a nice Deflecting Swat. So Deflecting Swat is, you can kind of see it's the tail of that dinosaur. It looks like it's Calamax, actually, of deflecting a lightning bolt into something else. Well, I kind of figured, actually, I was kind of looking through Lord of the Rings stuff, trying to figure out something, a different card. I actually have another one lined up for Gandalf that I'm going to use probably next week. But this one, I was like, oh, this is kind of perfect. He's like blocking what the Balrog is doing here. So I was like, that's a pretty sweet kind of altar to this one. I don't like doing altars very much. I like them a lot. Let me take that back. The problem with altars is, and I've mentioned it, I think, before on other Proxy Time videos, is when you're playing with your play group, you want people to be able to be like, oh, I know what that card is. And in the beginning, when I started making proxies, and again, I make proxies of cards that I already own and just don't want to, I want to be able to put these in multiple decks, and then also saves my, whoops, I don't want to shrink that. It also saves it so that I'm not like bringing thousands of dollars of cards places. So that's the reason why I started making these proxies in the first place. But long story longer, I was doing altars, like I was finding other altars, like using superheroes as it. And then I'd play it and people are like, what is that card? And they keep asking throughout the game because they obviously don't know that card or that version of it. So I then kind of switched it up and I was like, all right, so I'm only going to try to make proxies of actual cards so that it's easy for the table to see. I'll make exceptions here and there because when you don't have a good quality card or good quality art to use, you don't want the card to look shitty. So that's where I'm going with this one. So what it's triggered, though, is we're going to get a Lord of the Rings series here. So the next couple, if you like this, if you like Lord of the Rings, we're going to get some altar stuff here with all these. All right, so it looks like we got everything good there. Make sure, we got to check. Oh, look at that. Make sure. See, there's that O. I would have totally missed that. Totally missed the O. And let's copy it and let's jump over here. I think I have some cool ideas. If you look at some of the if you look at the original how to make proxies video that I made, I believe it deals with, God, I always forget the name of it. Not Time Stretch. It's the one where the extra turns one. And just brain farting. I never remember it. But it's the extra turns one where it has the wave curling, and I use the wave to make kind of a bubble. I love doing that with the text box. So I think I'm going to use that with Gandalf's little beam you see here. You can kind of see it over the top there. I think I'm going to do that here, and Gandalf is going to kind of take over this whole picture. Our Balrog is going to go... I kind of wanted him to take over the text box, but it doesn't look like he's going to fit in there. So what I'm going to... Well, I could drop it a little bit more and crop it a little differently. So Gandalf is for sure in there. Let's do that. So my bottom is good there. How's my positioning? Let's just... Okay, so he's blocking. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not taking out too much of this stuff because I'm trying to plan ahead. So we're going to get part of the whip coming in there. Not going to really see the whip there. Not going to see his arm. We can have the whip maybe come here. And that's probably about it. So I think we're probably good with that. So now let's get, so I have to my camera there, so I have to drop down to actually see where I'm going here. So we're going to crop this bad boy. Everything's moving very slow. There we go. All right, so let's get it all the way to the bottom. Bring it all the way here. This one would have been sweet to have the whole Balrog in there, but I just can't get that in there. It's not going to fit. I did have another depiction of this art that somebody had, but I just liked how this feels. This feels like a red card and feels more like deflecting. So, all right. So I think that looks pretty solid there. We're good on our sides, good on our top. So let's start our stamping. Stamp it. Alt, stamp, click again. Boom, back to our layer. Let's zoom in. Let's do the easy stuff first. Easy stuff first so you don't sweat about it. Let's get him coming through the top. And actually, with this fire, I think we're going to do something a little different. I've done it before in other videos. We're going to make that fire effect. So we're going to kind of have that burning coming through. So we're going to switch this over to more of the grainy one, that one. And then we're going to bring this down a bit to like 58. And then we're just going to start painting. We're going to get some of this fire to come through. Oh, I didn't like where that, because it didn't really follow the fire. You can go crazy with it, but don't go too crazy where you can't really tell what's going on. Follow some of the lines. I especially want this fire to come through here. So I'm going to do this a couple of times. I'm clicking and letting it go because we want that fire to come through. I keep wanting to do the Beavis and Butthead fire, 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 but I'm not going to because that's the obvious joke right there. Get more of that over there. Get this strand going. I'm going to shrink this up a little bit. It just seems like I'm just being completely random, which I am because it's random fire. But you do want to kind of try to follow a little bit of where your fire is going. So I'm going to get rid of that line by clicking there. So we're really going to kind of get rid of the top part of the text box in a lot of this. So then the fire really does feel like it's coming through that. I want to zoom out. See, it looks like that the actual text box is on fire. I may get rid of the bottom part too. The bottom part of that text box. I may mess with that just a bit more. Kind of, yeah, let's dull this out a little bit. Yeah, then the fire really comes through there. That looks pretty sweet. I dig that a lot. We don't really need to do much there. Let's get that fire there. So we're going to click that a couple times. Do have a little bit here, so I'm going to get some of that flame kind of taking over on the edge. Kind of fits in with the mountain there. The little fire mountain symbol there. Get some pieces going there. Nope, I didn't like that. I actually don't like the top part doing that. We're going to leave the top alone. But I do like the bottom doing what it's doing there. All right, zoom out and check it out. Solid. Oh, let's look at what it's going to be at 70. Yep. Now it looks like it's on fire. I like it a lot. All right, so let's get down to Gandalf. Let's get down, Gandalf. Let's deflect this swat. This twat. All right. Zoom, zoom, zoom. First things first, do we want that whip to come through? Let's do Gandalf first. I know I want Gandalf to take over. Now, we might be able to get away with this because Gandalf stands out so much from the background of the fire. So let's see. Oh, you got to go to the background. See, yep, okay, Gandalf there. Good, good, good. Can we get a little there? This will make everything a lot easier. Nope. I may stop there on his sword. It's his hair. Okay, and his staff, I may just do that by hand. So a few of this I might do just by hand. All right, I can dig that. Jump back here. Let's get him up. We're just going to take over that text box because Gandalf needs to be the focus of this. Okay, here. All right, now we go into manual. Deselect. This is where we're going to be a little more precise with stuff. So we're going to shrink this down. We're going to zoom in. Let's get a staff. Well, no, we're going to work our way up to the staff. Oops. We're going to work our way up to the staff because the staff is going to be part of that little glowing there, that circle. So there you can see the top of the circle there. So we're not going to completely take that box over, I don't think, from just thinking about it. We might do what we were doing with the fire above. Well, let's get the sword, because that's not really part of that. Doing a line there. Coming back with another line. All right. I think that's good. Hair's fine. Gandalf head. Just making sure we're all there. Just touching up the lines, making them more crisp. I think this one we needed it. Yeah, there was some. And then it looks like we got something coming off of here up to Gandalf there. And looks like we're missing some down there. So yeah, it's kind of a shortcut, but not. I mean, it helps you fill it in and make sure you can go quick with that. But you still got to come back and touch everything up. Okay, well, let's work on the staff now. Start with the bottom. Yeah, it's pretty solid. I like solid. It's a lot better than not solid. Okay, working our way up. Let's get the top part. Yeah, so I think in light of the news of Lord of the Rings stuff coming and Warhammer 40K or whatever, I'm not a big Warhammer fan, so I don't know much about that. But I'm a huge Lord of the Rings nerd with all that stuff. So I am super excited about that news. One thing I do want to touch up, and I noticed it above too. Yeah. Okay. So you see all the edges there. This is just my perfectionist part. I don't think I like this as much. So I think I'm just going to kind of clean that up. And I also noticed it below. So let's just clean up those edges. Just to there. And kind of can give that 3D feel of it. So if you clean up the top part, you can sometimes leave the bottom to make it feel like it's a 3D image. Hitting the sides there. Yeah, I didn't like how that happened there. Oh, doing it again. Let's see. I think I need to clean that just a little bit towards the bottom. I suck. Okay, I think I got it. All right, that looks good. All right, so let's do the Gandalf part. Let's bring this up. Let's see how we look with the 70. And we're going to do the faded tool again, and we're going to get that down to 50. We're going to get this quite large. We're on the right one. So I think what I want to do is we're going to have it focused. So that's going to be really bright in the middle. So we're going to click once. We're in the right background, yeah. So we're going to hit this whole circle. Then I'll let go here in a second. And then we'll do it again, but we'll stay kind of closer in. And I'll let go again and do it again. I kind of want to hit the outside a little bit more there. So what I'm thinking is I actually want this whole top box to disappear with this circle, and then kind of do the glowing part to it down here. So what I'm going to do is one of two things. I could just jump back but since I'm doing this tool, I'm just going to keep clicking and re-clicking until that box kind of disappears. Might even shrink it up a little bit to have more control over where I want that orb to go. So we're getting rid of the text boxes. So this will really kind of shine through, but also make it so you can see through it a little bit. Okay. So now we do see like an orb type thing there. So if we brought this back up to 70, yeah. I think I need to mess with the bottom a little bit. Make it more there. Oh, that looks really sweet. I'm going to fade it a little bit on the sides there and there. There we go. That looks really sweet. I really like how that's turning out. Okay. So, next thing, I think I'm going to avoid the whip. I don't think I need to do anything with that whip there. It isn't really interacting with our orb. But what I do want to do is get rid of that. So let's bring this back up to 100. Let's bring this over to here. Get our stamp on. Get this a little larger. Stamp. Stamp again. Stamp. Okay. It's a little bit of this here. So what I want to do is stamp. I'm going to bring some of that back in. There we go. There's that little line, like light white there, and it goes all the way across. So I didn't want to not make that consistent across. Okay, so then last thing, let's get that CommanderSmith logo in there. Oh, don't do that. A little too large. There. Bring that in. There's our old Deflecting Swat. I think the Balrog is going to have this either in its mouth or the other part of it. It could be part of Gandalf's staff. Could make it part of the deflecting part. But one thing I could skew it. Make it more of an orb. Okay. That's more of an orb. Now, instead of skewing, we got to scale. So we're going to jump back there. And get this. I know it seems like I'm doing a lot, but what I'm going to be doing is really fading this so you can't see much of it. It looks really dumb right now, but just hold your horses. I need to skew this side up just a little bit higher so we're even with our other side. Okay, so we're going to get this way down. Like way down. Yeah. That can work right there. So that, but we'll still have to go over with Gandalf there. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. I may even bring that down even more. Because I don't want it to like take over, but I do want you to be able to see it. Okay, so we're going to double this up because we're going to be hitting up Gandalf to have it go so his head isn't covered by it. And I'm going to try to fit that a little bit better. Okay. Where's my top? Okay, I can see it. This is probably the biggest logo I've done. It's the biggest CommanderSmith logo. Fit there. Fit in there. Okay. So now let's get Gandalf back again. Make sure that we're getting him. So we got to do this again. And just make sure Gandalf stays there. So we're covering his head, shoulders. And let's hit that staff one more time. We want this one more time. Making sure that that staff stays bright. All right. Let's zoom her out and see where we're at with this. So we're going to be 70%. Just vaguely can see the CommanderSmith logo. So I dig that. The other thing I was thinking was using the Balrog size, but I think having that be kind of the orb there is pretty sweet. Let me bring the levels up just a bit to see. No, I think keeping it down is probably a good idea. Like that. It's only 6%. So unless you know it's there, you're really not going to know it's there. So, all right. Well, that should do it for Deflecting Swat. That is a pretty sweet altar to that, to add in the Lord of the Rings. Probably a one in a line of cards that I'll be doing with the Lord of the Rings style altars. Because with that announcement, I really do want to jump into some of these cards that I don't have, or maybe I have done before, but I'll just do some altars to them with Lord of the Rings. You can check that out. Like and subscribe to our page if you like this video. And also you can check out our weekly podcast, CommanderSmiths. I'm Adam Smith, and this was Proxy Time. We'll catch you next week. See ya. Bye. Take up.